You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
What's up, y'all? Got a lot of stuff to cover today. Ton of stuff for the NBA awards on TV last night. Odds on where everyone is going to be going. The play for Paul George, and could he be making the exact same mistake LeBron made years ago? Talking about the NFL Top 100. Probably more proof they should not sell alcohol in airports.
Oh, we got another one?
Yes.
I'm into it, man. It sounds like a good show. I'm excited.
Yeah, some good stuff today. And another round of Dumb and Drunk. But we'll start off a little bit with last night's NBA awards. Did they get it right? In the awards they gave out, Ricky Bobby already is shaking his head. No, I'm going to let you take James Harden, MVP.
Oh, God, those two, that name and MVP sitting next to each other pisses me off to no end. That fake-ass MVP that he won. I asked you this question, fellas. If James Harden was taken off of the Rockets, would the Rockets still make the playoffs?
I say yes.
You say probably most likely.
Yeah, I mean,
with
Chris
the other
Paul
pieces they have.
And whoever else is there.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. I mean, whoever else is there.
Yeah.
If you were to
take LeBron James off of the Cleveland Cavaliers, would they even come close to the playoffs?
100% no.
Not a friggin' chance in hell.
Well, where did they finish? They were third, fourth in the East?
They were
third or fourth in the East?
They were fourth. They finished fourth in the East with LeBron James because that's how bad that team was.
Exactly.
You had Philly in front of them at 3.
Right.
Boston was 1. I'm sorry, Boston was 2 and Toronto was 1.
Yes.
I heard talk of James Harden win the MVP, like even before the playoffs started. It seems like he was crowned at some point during the season the MVP, and it just did not change.
I mean, what they did here was they went with a guy, because one of the rare times that Ricky and I actually agree.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell people that.
I know. Sorry, it even makes me sick to say it.
Oh, God.
But they went with the guy with the better stats and the better overall record. Houston had 65 wins. They were the number 1 seed in the West. Took Golden State to 7 games, whatever you want to say. But Harden scored a bunch of points, got a bunch of triple-doubles, and was the best player on the number 1 seed in the West.
Seemed like he got trendy. That's what it seems like to me.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, that's really what it was. James Harden was trendy before the playoffs began, and then he just carried it through, and he wound up winning it. Now, if you want to take a look, tell me, okay, who would you rather have? I'll give you the numbers without telling you who is what. 27.5 points, 9.1 assists, 8.6 rebounds in 82 games.
Okay, it sounds good.
30.4 points, 8.8 assists, 5.4 rebounds in 72 games. Who would you rather have on your
82.
team?
Yeah.
Huh?
All 82.
All 82. You think the 10 games is a little bit more for MVP
Well, because
standards?
I think that's more proof that you're the most valuable player because you had to play all 82 games.
Well, that's LeBron's stats.
There you go.
That's LeBron. So you've got 2 points more basically for Harden. You have
What
got.
do you friggin' do?
Yeah.
Who's your point guard?
LeBron's got 3 more rebounds average per game, and LeBron has 1 more assist per game. 2 less points. And here's the other thing that I think, too, when you're arguing the MVP. Let's say, okay, who's the second best player on both teams, and what did they contribute to the success of that team? Mm-hmm. Now, for James Harden, you want to look to Chris Paul, averaged 18.6 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Love averaged 17.6 points per game. So, to me, it's very close, but if you're looking at just a blind audition of both players, yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I think it's unanimous. I think we all agree. I think that LeBron James should have won the MVP because here they are today. If you're looking at some of the comments that are flying around the league, you know, they're saying, hey, look, Harden's like, we don't need to add any more pieces. We're good. We feel like, hey, look at what we did with Golden State. Mm-hmm. Took them to 7 games. Could have gone either way. And we're a complete team. You don't need to add somebody in the offseason. We're okay. We feel good about taking that team on in the West next season. What are we talking about with the Cavs? Oh, my gosh. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
And who are they going to add? Because obviously they don't stack up nearly as well to Golden State as the Rockets did, yet Harden wins the MVP.
See, and this is one of the things is that like maybe this was completely taken on about the finals, is that if it wouldn't have just been a sweep, then maybe this would have been a different situation. I know that it's only supposed to be padded on the stats that are coming from the regular season, but this can't be. I mean, I understand where the Rockets ended up, but you can take James Harden out for 10 games and they'll win and they wind up winning the West.
Right.
Yes, a stronger conference. This guy played all 82 games and still only got to the 4th position.
I mean, did the seed hurt LeBron's case here? Of
course it did.
It's silly though,
it's
right?
So much crap bias
because his team came in 4th in the standings in a week. I mean,
well, is it because LeBron's won 4 previously? Is it because people are sick of choosing LeBron James for the MVP, and so they wanted it was more fun to pick James Harden because it gave us something different and a different taste? And now you could arguably compare stats on stats and say, hey, we can choose someone else other than LeBron, and not everyone's going to go absolutely crazy. You can make a debate over it.
And you see, it's funny because I thought that Harden's stats were actually better than that. LeBron's stats are right there. You can actually
right
say
underneath it.
Yeah, you can actually say they might actually be better in some ways.
Well, in assists and rebounds and games played, they are better.
Yeah, the only thing is points.
Yeah, Harden's got 2 more per game on average than LeBron. That's the only advantage that he has. And his second best player averages 1 point more than LeBron's second best player.
And I think to your point, Kev, what you said is it fatigue? Does it just come down to that? It might. I mean, honestly, you look back, 20-something years ago, Jordan could have won MVP every season.
Well, see, I think that's the argument, too, is that you can say if you're going to go with that logic, then every single year LeBron should win MVP.
Right.
But when people come at you with that, that's not true. When he was in Miami, no, that's not true because he had a lot of friggin' help.
Right.
He had Chris Bosh, he had Dwayne Wade, and he had a lot of really great role players. He's literally playing with a B squad, just picked him up at the YMCA team, and gets into the finals.
Yeah.
There's not even a question this year.
James Harden didn't even have a speech ready to go when he wins the award, and they asked him why.
Honestly, because I didn't know. I feel like last year I should have won as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, why don't you use the speech you had last year?
Just take that one out.
Yeah.
So I didn't see a difference between, last year and this year. And if I won it, then I was going to go off the top and try to, show my appreciation to everybody who helped me along the way.
Okay. Well, what about Rookie of the Year? Controversy on that, too. Ben Simmons gets it, but Ben Simmons actually technically his second year in the league, even though he didn't play last year because of an injury.
I mean, this one doesn't bother me as much because I get it. You want the argument, well, like you said, he didn't play because of injury last year. Well, then technically, he's still a rookie. If he didn't play his rookie season.
Yeah. I look at this like a redshirt freshman in college football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm okay with it.
Here's what Ben Simmons said about the non-rookie talk.
For me, I'm obviously happy I won the award, so I try not to let the media hype things up or fans or whatever it is, just because I know I'm doing what I love, and I did what I could on the floor, and obviously it was enough. And that doesn't take anything away from Jason or Donovan. They had excellent, amazing, tremendous season, and what they were able to accomplish was great. I mean, if I played last year, one of them would have had it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
This is another case of I would have had it last year, too?
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about Dwayne Casey picking up Coach of the Year? Which
this is so bizarre. Yeah. It's just a very bizarre situation. They had to announce it. We already knew it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Did you? But they do it like a regular award show.
It was.
And the winner of the Coach of the Year is Dwayne Casey. I was like, everybody in that room already knew.
There's maybe only really 2 entertaining things that you got last night, and that was the flying bird that came out, and maybe just what you got with Dwayne Casey mentoring his firing. The guy who wins the NBA Coach of the Year lost his job.
When you get fired, which I did recently, I don't know if you knew that or not, after winning Coach of the Year.
I mean, at least he said it, because that's how stupid
true.
that is. It's amazing.
One other thing that happened last night, how do you feel about this? The commissioner of basketball talks about super teams.
Once players come together, you don't know how they're going to perform together till you actually see them perform on the floor. So, I mean, I think as people start talking about super teams and dynasties, you know, what the Celtics have done historically, the Bulls, the Lakers, San Antonio, and now what the Warriors are doing, it's not so easy to replicate.
Okay, so he's defending, because that's a big criticism against the league, is super teams are killing the NBA. Is Adam Silver right, or is he wrong? And I guess my only question, because he says, look, just because you put a bunch of star players together in their prime doesn't mean they're going to win, but how many super teams that include star players in their prime have failed?
The only ones I can think of. I mean, in their prime? Well, no, I was going to say the Lakers with Karl Malone and Gary Payton, but they weren't in their prime.
Yeah, that was kind of after. That was ring grabbing.
And I think that's it. I mean, you look at the Warriors, and that's a team. All those guys arguably have been put together in their prime to go make it happen.
I mean, if you want to call year one of the Heat a failure, because they lost in the finals, but they made the finals 4 straight years.
Yeah,
they
I
won
wouldn't
2
call it a
titles.
failure.
I don't think it's a failure, right? I mean, they
You
were
kind of
there.
knew they were going to be good and probably going to get there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Is he right or not? Coming up here in just a couple minutes, the argument we had yesterday on the show, should they start limiting how much alcohol you can get in airports? Well, I've got an interesting viral clip that might say, maybe we ought to consider it, coming up next.
Yep, he's here too. It's Kevin's Other Show, right here on 640 The Hurricane.
Well, listen, we'd already seen is kind of out and being debated a little bit. The top 100 in the NFL. Does this tell you anything about your team? Is there anything in here that we didn't already know? Tom Brady, #1 again this year.
Deservedly.
Yes.
Like LeBron should have won the MVP.
Yeah, the players got this one right, because it's voted on by the players.
Antonio Brown chosen at #2. Previously was #4. Carson Wentz at #3, even though he was injured.
Hype.
Last year. A lot of hype. But still, before he was injured, a 33-7 TD interception ratio, which is, not bad.
No, he was pretty good last year.
Julio Jones at #4, and then Le'Veon Bell #5. So the Steelers have got 2 in the top 5, and they've got a lot of other players up there as well. With Roethlisberger coming in at #18.
Overrated.
Whoa.
Think so, huh?
Yep. So is Julio Jones. I'm tired of everybody getting on Julio Jones like he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, because he's not. I would say Antonio Brown is. I'm not sure I put Julio Jones.
Antonio Brown's definitely the best wide receiver.
I don't even know if I put Julio Jones in the top 5.
Oh, whoa. Calm down with the top 5.
Well, I mean, you got some others that are right on the outside that, you could argue. Aaron Rodgers, they got him at #10. Does that feel low to have Aaron Rodgers?
I think, but this is the hard thing, is that when you're doing the entire NFL, if you're doing quarterbacks, obviously he's not #10. If you're doing the entire NFL, people more productive at their certain position, I mean, you can be able to justify him being a 10 because there's other players that are really, really good at their position that put them above someone like Aaron Rodgers. But if you're talking about quarterbacks, I mean, it's ridiculous. He's second best in the NFL.
Drew Brees is #8, so...
Okay, that doesn't make any sense then.
Okay, all right.
And Drew Brees' whole year last year was based on that friggin' rookie running back.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't have as many touchdowns. Drew Brees only had 23 touchdowns, but he did have a 72 completion percentage. Threw for over 4,300 yards.
He throws for a lot of yards.
He does,
with that team.
but he also, completion percentage, a lot outside. What the hell was the kid's name?
Who you
The
talking about?
rookie from New Orleans.
It was...
With Kamara?
Yes, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. I mean, when
That's the
you
one.
throw a yard and a half ahead of you, you're going to get a lot of completion, and the guy just takes it for yard.
But that's the NFL, though. I mean, that's the
Just
way it
saying,
works.
completion rate. Whatever.
Fort Pierce's Khalil Mack, he's #16 on the list. He just said
The
this last
monster.
week he's going to be bringing a lot of his money back to Fort Pierce.
Nice.
Thank you, they need it.
Yes.
Also, if you're looking at former Dolphins, Jarvis Landry, 52, he would have been the highest that the Dolphins would have had on the list. And Dominic Suh is 61. And now the current best player for the Dolphins, Cameron Wake,
Ooh.
#74.
All right, we're in the top 75. Woo!
So do you look at the top 100 players and say this has any kind of reflection on what your season might look like?
I mean,
Or no?
It's kind of like
What were you thinking in the first place? Is really what I want to know.
It's really more equatable to like fantasy football standings. Honestly, you can put a guy. It's like players ranking fantasy football players is what it is. Because you can put a guy, you can have your mock drafts top 10, and then look at it in December and be like, holy cow, why was this guy number 8 on the board? He should have been drafted in the 5th round. It's just you just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you can look at the top 5 and be like, all right, we're pretty safe with that. But
Just
then
a
after
fun
that,
little list we're doing to kill time, isn't it?
It's
much.
all fodder until
Yeah.
the actual NFL season starts.
It's June 26th, so we're doing this list.
That means nothing.
When the only rotation of sports right now is baseball, this is when these lists come out.
Well, then let's just move on to insane moments on airplanes.
All right, fair enough.
Good.
Yesterday, we were talking about the argument that maybe they should start limiting alcohol sales to maybe 2 drinks per person per bar, putting a cap on how early they start selling alcohol. And it's incidences like this viral video we have here today. Now, I don't know what's going on, and I can't say fairly that this woman is inebriated or on anything or what exactly might be her issues, but it is just these kind of things. If it does come back, that this will be another knock on saying we're just having too many incidences of people acting a little crazy on planes. And this woman dials it up. She's chasing basically somebody down the aisle, and she is yelling, threatening, talking about her brothers that are snipers and how they will, mess with you. This is a very entertaining video.
Get me the off this damn
Oh my God.
plane! You want to be to me? You will see me pissed.
Oh!
You will!
Oh!
What?
Oh my God!
She's growling. Yes.
Let me in a snipe fest! You know who my brothers are? They're Marine snipers! You
Oh.
wanna with the Marine? Let me out, you bastards! Go to hell!
Jeez!
You ought to know what hell is!
Oh my God!
Sit there!
What is that?
She's pretty amped up.
Can they not get her off?
Can I get her off?
Yeah, pretty amped up. We don't
I
know
don't
what
think
the
anybody's
cause.
got her off in a really long time.
Good
We
gosh.
don't know what the cause of all that was, but I will tell you that's a very uncomfortable situation in a very tight space. That's what a lot of people are trying to get away from.
I was scared just listening to it. I can't imagine being on the plane.
My, can you imagine that is going on over top of you? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die.
She sounds like she needed like an exorcism.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord.
I don't know exactly what was kicking that lady up a notch, but man, she was there.
She was really amped up. Yeah, it must be really awkward being on the plane. Like, I guess I'll wait for that neck pillow.
She growled.
Yeah. Well, if it does turn out that she was inebriated, that's not going to be
A surprise?
Or it's not going to be good in the argument of the person who wants to start boozing up at 7 o'clock in the morning and have 5 drinks before they get on their plane.
Just like I was saying yesterday, the possessed lady proves my point.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Got to find out exactly why.
How many
she
times
was
do you get to
acting
say that in a day?
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of other interesting viral videos came out. One from I-95 in Miami. Did you see this dude that was hanging on the
did.
car on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this guy was driving. It looked like in the express lane there on I-95 in Miami, and somebody's riding right next door to him, the car over, going 70 miles an hour, and doing some play-by-play commentary on this guy who, oddly enough, is like just calmly hanging on the hood of this vehicle as it appears to be a woman driving.
What the actual
I think it's the reaction we would all have.
So confused. Bro, mid-highway. Riding on the hood like it's no big deal. And there's a side, bro. And I think they're talking to each other. Bro, she's definitely pissed off at him. This is crazy. Bro, mid 95, bro. Most dangerous highway on the planet.
And they're going 70.
Mid 95, bro.
I mean, I'm terrified when I'm in a car in the express lane on 95 in Miami, much less on the outside of a car on the hood.
I mean, I couldn't even see like the world's greatest daredevil pulling something like that off.
It's pretty impressive. And he's calm, which makes you believe maybe he goes through this kind of stuff regularly.
I think it's time for marriage counseling. But the one thing I noticed about the video is that he's wearing flip-flops and they stay on.
I did see that.
It's a
was
testimony
pretty
to those
amazing.
flip-flops.
I
That
mean,
is pretty impressive.
It's time for an endorsement.
Why was he so calm though? Because I did see this video and he's just holding on like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
He could die at any second.
Cocaine's
Did
a
he
hell
live?
of a drug.
It's pretty amazing.
Is he alive? Did someone find out?
He is
Noth-
alive. He is alive. Yeah.
Another amazing moment happened in Port St. Lucie with 56-year-old Scott Garrett.
I love Port St. Lucie stories.
Well, Scott Garrett swerving all over the road there where the cops pull him over. They come to his window and they smell alcohol in his breath. He's slurring his words, got bloodshot eyes, couldn't really walk straight. And there was an open bottle of Sailor Jerry spiced rum on the passenger seat, which pretty much told you that Scott Garrett was hammered.
Yes.
Well, they asked him to take a sobriety test, and he said, well, you know, one of my relatives is a cop. They said, we don't care. He also said, well, do you think maybe you guys should just give me a ride home? They said, no, we don't think so. Let's do that sobriety test. And he said, well, to be honest with you, don't give it to me. Give it to my dog. Apparently, there was a dog sitting in the back seat, and he tried to claim that the dog was the one who was actually driving all over the road, not him.
Okay, I mean, he's...
Cops did not believe Scott Garrett, and he picked up his 4th DUI.
That would be why. That'd be
There you
why.
go.
A chronic offender.
Congratulations. Yes.
It wasn't me. It was Fluffy.
I just can't.
Coming up here in a couple minutes, is Paul George going to make the same mistake LeBron did? We'll discuss coming up next.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, hashtag Kevin's Other Show.
Are you going to be watching The Decision 2.0?
No.
Let's do it.
It's about to happen again.
Don't care.
I'm ready.
This time, Paul George, baby, is going to be starring in My Journey on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, baby, a 3-part Sports Center series. Remember, it worked out really well for LeBron in 2010. I think he had apologized for 6 years for that.
I think he's still apologizing.
So what is it if you're Paul George that says, you know what, it failed so miserably for LeBron, why don't I give it a shot? And
The money,
how can this go any better? I mean, do people care even close to as much about where Paul George is going to wind up as they did about LeBron James in 2010?
Not a flying chance.
Right now, people care a lot more, I think. Do they not, about where LeBron James is going to wind up next year than Paul George?
Yes.
No, I guarantee you go to the regular person, they'd be like, who's Paul George? And if they remember him, it's only because he snapped his leg in the Olympics.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of almost ruined his career. The only reason why anybody, as far as a basketball fan, would go as to why they would care where Paul George goes is because that could be an indication of to where LeBron goes. And the same thing for Kawhi Leonard. It's still LeBron. The whole thing centers around LeBron.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They're domino pieces is all they are.
They're just pawns in the game of LeBron.
Yes.
Well, apparently in L.A. they've started a big billboard campaign. About 40 of them are posted throughout Southern California trying to woo Paul George.
So expensive.
With the hashtag PG2LA.
40 billboards.
40, yeah. This is a dude that apparently is some kind of personal injury attorney that also put up 4 billboards to try to get LeBron to L.A. earlier.
Okay, so why are you only putting up 4? If you're going to spend $500,000 on billboards, which make no mistake about it, if you're buying 40 billboards
in L.A.,
it's
Right.
$500,000. So if you're going to spend that money, why aren't you spending more on LeBron?
Well, you got to give blood to put your face on a bus stop.
Well, I mean, is a billboard going to have any kind of effect whatsoever?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
If it was like a community thing, maybe, like everybody chipped in, but if it's just one guy.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, maybe it will have an effect on Paul George. Maybe this
Paul George is vain.
Exactly, and he's never been wooed like this. LeBron has, and he actually came out and said, I don't
that's true.
feel like going through all the circus like I've done the past, 2 free agency periods. It's not going to do anything for me.
He is Paul George is a vain person. He is the same person that after he snapped his leg, came back to the NBA, changed his number to 13 so he can be able to be PG-13.
That's a good point.
So let's look at it that way. This might actually work.
Has there ever been a better name number combo than that? I mean, you got AK-47 with Andre Karolinko. That was a good one.
That was good. They called him that because they had to make him likable because other than that, he just sounded like the friggin' Cookie Monster.
Well, he also had a wife and they were swingers, so that was also a good story with him.
Fair enough.
I remember that. That made him pretty likable.
Now you know.
Right now, according to the Vegas odds, best chances to get Paul George, Lakers, of course, first, Thunder second. For LeBron, they still got the Lakers first by a pretty good margin. 76ers second, Cavs third. Best odds.
Knicks are anywhere on there, huh?
Not in the top 3.
Mm-mm.
Sorry about that.
Not looking good.
All right.
Can LeBron surprise us at all with any of these picks?
To where he goes?
Yeah.
I think he could. I think Philadelphia is definitely okay. What's the list on him? It's L.A., Philadelphia, Cleveland.
Yeah, that's the top 3.
Yeah,
so Philadelphia, I think, would be a huge surprise. Even though it's number 2, I still think it'd be a huge surprise if he goes there.
Lakers, Sixers, Cavs. That's top 3 for LeBron.
Can I throw a scenario out at you guys?
I love this.
Let me know
as long
what
as
you
it's
think.
not Miami.
Okay. No, it won't be Miami.
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to take this completely out into left field.
He's going to the Utah Jazz.
No, not the Jazz. Stop it. What if LeBron takes a year off?
Oh my God!
Think about it.
Why would you say that?
Think about it. Here's why, okay? I know it sounds crazy.
It sounds stupid. That's what it sounds
But
like.
consider these things. He takes a year off. He loves the attention, right? So now all the attention is on him throughout the year. What is he going to do next? Where is he going to go in 2019? There's that. There's the money. The salary cap increases $7 million next season from 101 to 108. So he can make more money if he signs with the team next year. There's how much he's played basketball over the past 15 years. Olympics, 8 straight finals. It might actually be that he has played more basketball than anybody in the entire world at this point over the past 15
What's
years.
the kicker, Diener?
The
What's
kicker,
the kicker?
though, you take a year off,
Listen to this crap.
repair your body after all that basketball you played, and gets beat up, okay?
Okay.
Just because he's so big, we don't realize, but the guy gets
Meat
beat
and potatoes, Diener. Meat and
up. Here
potatoes.
it comes. The kicker. He has said that his greatest accomplishment is to play with his son.
Right.
Which is going to take another 5 or 6 years before his
Son's
son makes
13,
the NBA.
league minimum's 19.
So it's going to be another 6 years.
And his kid can't palm a basketball yet or dunk.
That's right. So he's got some work to do. So maybe you take a year off, help your son get better, repair your body for a year. That prolongs your career, and now becomes much more likely you get to play with your son.
I'd love to see the Vegas odds on that scenario.
Just saying.
Okay.
Oh, you sound like you're on LSD.
It's not completely
That is
outlandish,
the
is it?
stupidest crap. No,
Why?
no, it is completely outlandish. You think the guy's going to take a year? He is king of crap mountain right now, and he's going to decide to leave the NBA so that he can be able to take a year off to get his son to be better. So eventually, in 6 years, he can play with his
Not
son.
just his son, all those reasons I named. Those are all valid reasons in my mind.
They all felt like a stretch, though.
It's every single one
Yeah,
of them.
none of them felt like,
every
oh, okay,
single
yeah.
one of them. It is.
Really?
This is
No
Yeah.
light bulb moment there?
This is exactly 100% the reason why we need football to happen. Because in times like this, June 26th,
My
Yeah.
mind wanders.
this is the only thing that's out there. This is clickbait crap
Yeah.
that people put out there. So you look at it and you get these dumb bloggers get their little clicks on their website. It's the stupidest crap.
I think it's a
Stop.
fair point.
Just stop
I think
it.
it's fair.
Stop. Turn
a
his
lot of
microphone
basketball.
off. He's done. You're in timeout.
Could use a rest.
I am just still, to me, I don't know why. I keep getting this vibe like he's going to stay in Cleveland.
I think he's going to do too.
Everybody is so convinced that he's going to the Lakers, and I know there is the convenience of having, a home in Beverly Hills, but it seems like you've had your kids at an age around 13. They're on their team. They're in their schools. You're very comfortable and familiar with that area. That is home. LA is a whole different environment and a monster. And for raising kids and having the family, which he seems like he's all about, 3 kids now? 2 boys, 1 girl? If he's all about the family, where they're most comfortable, do you think they're going to be like, Dad, we want to go to LA?
But why would he move? Why does he have to move his family? You don't think he spends enough time in LA right now? He's got a production company. He stars in movies. He's in commercials. All that stuff's in LA.
Well, he has a.
He's traveling all the time.
He has a house, but how often? I mean, is his family always there, and especially during the school year?
I mean, what I'm saying is that we don't know how much time he spends in LA as it is. It could be a comparable amount of time to be able to play on a team there as opposed to playing in Cleveland.
Wouldn't it mean, though, I mean, if his family's going to be close to him when the basketball season happens, that means you're going to be relocating your kids?
He needs
or
to
you're
have
not
his-
going to ever see him?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying is that we don't know how much time he spends in LA right now.
It's not as much as it would be if he was playing an
Are
entire
you his
season with the
personal
Lakers.
personal assistant? You don't know. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
I'm
is that we
saying-
don't
Yeah,
know.
but if he's playing for the Lakers and he's staying there predominantly a good bit of the time, he's going to want to have his kids there
Yes.
with him in school, and that means uprooting 3 children, at least 2. I'm not sure his daughter is
I think she's
4 or 5. I'm
Yeah.
not sure she's in school yet.
around that kindergarten age.
His other
We're
2
still
boys,
answering
though,
that
would be an
question,
issue
though.
about switching schools and then obviously the environment that they're in and his wife and how comfortable they are. And he seems to make us believe that his family, and there's going to be 4 of them chiming in on where they want to live. Are 4 of them going to be like, Daddy, let's go to L.A.?
Yeah, and his family will go with him because when he came down to Miami the first year, he was miserable. That had a lot to do with his play, why they lost to the Mavs, because it messed with his mind.
I don't see him doing that again. I think his family's going to go with him where he goes, especially at the ages where they are. So that's the only thing that's why.
Still the one thing is we don't know how much time he already spends in L.A.
I don't think it would be enough. Just looking at the entire scenario, I don't think it's enough to where it would make a difference as to where if you're playing an entire NBA season with a team, it's different. It's just different than going to L.A. for a week to work on a shoot or some type of commercial, whatever it may be.
Vegas gives Dwayne Wade best odds to wind up in Miami, but his second best odds are in L.A.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. Honestly, it does.
We're going to do this again?
I mean, well, why not? Why not go with him? Get another ring. Do it. I mean...
Chris Paul, top odds, Rockets. Second best odds, Lakers. Any chance you get Paul George, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James in L.A.?
Well, Dwayne Wade will be a veteran minimum if he decides to go.
So
that's
he's
no
easy.
Money. That's
Chris
easy.
Paul, it's a big one, right?
Yeah, but it won't be as big of a contract as LeBron and Paul George. Chris Paul, and I think even at this point in time in Chris Paul's career, he will take a massive pay cut in order to be able to go somewhere where he knows he's going to win a ring.
I don't know. I've been hearing he wants the max money. Which doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
because
he's an
made
idiot.
enough money.
He's not going to get the max money.
At this point in your career, just get a ring.
He can get the max money in Houston.
Yes.
But he's not going to win a ring there.
Any percentage chance those four wind up in L.A., what would you put it at?
Who?
Talking
all four of those guys.
Chris
all
Paul,
four of them?
Dwayne Wade, Paul George, LeBron James.
I don't see all of them.
Lakers could do it. They have the money for it. If they all agree to a certain amount of money, they can do it.
They have assets too. They can be able to trade.
Right.
Vegas has got the Lakers as the fourth best odds of winning the NBA Finals in 18-19.
So weird. They didn't even make the playoffs this past season.
Yep.
And they're fourth best odds to win the title.
Well, yeah, and as soon as LeBron decides whether he's going to stay in Cleveland or go to another team, then those odds are just going to go right out the window.
Plummet.
The only reason why they're as high as they are is because of the opportunity of LeBron James coming there.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have the Cavs in the top five in Vegas odds. The Heat are 16th.
It's all about me.
Yeah. Coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Well, one of the bright spots for the Miami Marlins, gone.
Why?
Out for the season. We'll let you know exactly who and why coming up next.
It's Derek Jeter's favorite sports show, just like Derek Jeter is Florida's favorite owner. Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Another day, another Marlins win, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Took out the D-backs 9-5.
The D-bags.
Yes, that's what they are. They're a bunch of D-bags.
After last night. That's right. Climbing back up to 500, baby.
They still got a long ways to go. They still got a long ways to go.
It's going to happen. One of these days.
Yeah, but, hey, bright spots, man. Just look for a little positivity here and there. Dan Straley actually struggled. Didn't start off strong, but then he finished 6 1/3 innings, allowed 3 runs, didn't surrender a hit in the last 15 Diamondbacks that he faced. Justin Bour had his 13th home run of the season with a solo in the first inning. So, some good bright spots on that. As you get the good news of a Marlins win, you also get the bad news of one of their bright spots this year. The young Caleb Smith is gone.
Oof.
Done for the year.
No.
Yeah, he's out.
That's sad.
Had a lat strain in the game Sunday in Colorado. MRI said, he's going to be out. Looks like he's probably going to go for the surgery so he can be back by spring training. But
jeez.
Yeah, he's out. So
what are you supposed to do at that point in time? It sucks. I mean, but you know what though? This is the time. You got a little hurt, get fixed. You ain't doing nothing this year.
Yeah, but he was the best pitcher the Marlins had, 4.19 ERA.
I was going to say,
like it friggin' matters.
Now they have to depend on Jose Urena again. What a shame.
Yeah.
He's more like Jose Urethra.
Are you kidding me? Come on. Can we play that? We can play that, right? It's a scientific term.
It's a scientific term.
Yeah.
So Caleb Smith wraps up the season with 88 strikeouts in 77 1/3 innings, and he had four outings with at least 8 strikeouts.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And of course, one of their top prospects is now gone, just like all hopes of the season.
My God, if you had any hope still.
I mean,
no.
Get it, break out your urethra jersey.
They just Marlins make me sad.
There's an interesting debate that is going on with this pitcher from Oregon State. His name's Luke Heimlich. If you haven't heard the story yet, they say he's one of the best players in college baseball. Great pitcher. and he's been doing good things for Oregon State.
But
No,
I feel like there's a butt coming.
Big old butt coming in here.
There is.
Precious stuff.
Because as he wraps up his college career and looks to the majors, there's a big reason why a lot of teams don't want to take him. He pled guilty to a felony.
Oh, that's a bad look. Yeah.
He's 22 now, and when he was 15, he sexually molested his 6-year-old niece.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No.
Now, they've got a good chance of getting back into the College World Series, but the big question is, as this guy continues to pitch in college, saw the debate today on ESPN. People ask the question, he was convicted of molesting a 6-year-old. Should he have a future in professional baseball?
Shouldn't have a future in society.
Thank you.
Let
Shouldn't have a
alone
future at all.
Professional baseball. I mean, these rules and these laws, because he's a minor, so there's different ways they have to go about this, and why he's not put away for life, rotting in a cell somewhere. It's, oh my gosh. No, he shouldn't have a future in baseball. No. I don't care if he was 15. I don't care if he was 12, if he was 18. No.
Do you feel like this is something that the commissioner should step in on? And there are a lot of things where from sport to sport, things could vary. From felony to felony, things could vary. And we seem to look at certain crimes differently than other crimes.
From moral justice to moral justice, nothing varies. This is an egregious act.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any varying understanding of any of this.
All this is saying, and to finish the point, should sports say, if you have a felony, you have no place in our league?
So you're saying just blanket statement?
A blanket statement.
No matter what the felony is.
Right.
No.
To make it easy. Or should we sit here and try to judge case by case? Because as we find out in our society, as things go on, things look worse than other things.
Right.
And the era judges differently based on what is going on at the time is how society views what it is you've done. So considering how the morality of the moment seems to shift through the sands of time, should we just say, look, it would be a lot easier to say if you're convicted of a felony, playing a sport professionally should be a privilege. Shouldn't be a right. You commit a felony, you should be ineligible to play. And then that way, there's a blanket statement, and we're not sitting here saying, yeah, but he was 15, da-da-da.
Yeah,
this is different than another felony you can commit.
No, this one is obviously, inexcusable. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
But I don't like the blanket rule, though, because, I mean, if you get enough speeding tickets that are unpaid, it comes up to a felony. You know what I mean? Like, there are
Does it
different things.
really?
I think so.
Yes, after a little while, if you don't pay them, but also like a DUI. Like, let's say you
Right.
have, you're an alcoholic, you have a problem, you wind up getting a DUI.
What does it take to get a felony DUI?
I think it's 2, and then it's considered a felony.
So I think there's different.
So I mean, but in that situation, it's like if you're sick, if you have an issue,
right?
Then that's a different situation. But I mean, like, we're talking about the molestation of a 6-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is a different conversation.
So do we say any kind of sexual offender then is somebody that should
sexual offenders? Yes, 100%.
Always and completely be banned.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say about when you've got a situation like a Michael Vick and a guy who does something that a lot of people would say that's egregious, and this is something where that person should never be able to sniff a professional sport again, which he did after he served his time?
Well, I personally think Michael Vick should have never been able to get the opportunity to play in football again.
Mm-hmm.
But
so how do we wind up, as we look at these sports leagues, getting to a place where we feel good saying we're doing the right thing and allowing the right people for the right reasons to come back, seek redemption, and be able to play these professional sports? How do we keep the wrong people out and let the right people back in?
I think it's just almost like a common sense thing in a way. I mean, if you have something like that, he shouldn't even be looked at. You can't kick him out of the college because, look, if he's trying to get education,
but you look at the morality and it changes, man. If you talk about the Michael Vick thing, some people are saying common sense says that guy should never have the privilege to make a mass amount of money ever again playing professional sports.
See, that one
he should have never come back. There are people that are so into the dog world.
Yes.
That they're like, that is unbelievable. You are a monster to ever have been able to do something like that. And
Right.
then there are other people that will defend him saying he was a product of his environment. So you could probably always find somebody that's going to try to say, look, let's justify it this way or that way. You might always be able to have your sympathizers come and try to make a case for why somebody should be allowed back into a professional sport.
Which is, I know, you're right, it's true, but the Michael Vick thing was always different to me, especially with a case like this. I mean, to me, they're not even comparable because you're talking about dogs and human beings, and children especially. But Michael Vick went to jail. And he paid for what he did. And he was able to come out, quote unquote, rehabilitated, whether you want to believe that or not at that point, and was given a second chance by the league. And, got with someone like Tony Dungy who helped mentor him and things of that nature. It's a completely, to me, different situation.
But you're always at that point, you're having someone judge on a gray area, and you're always going to have that debate.
Isn't that why we have judges, though? Like, I mean, why isn't there someone appointed to be able to figure out what is too egregious to come back to the sport?
But can't we create
or
a standard that allows or it makes common sense on what should
because
be
the law isn't a standard,
given to somebody?
The law is a loose standard. The law itself is a loose standard. So you can't automatically just put a blanket statement over it because the law itself is not a solid standard. It wavers, and that's the reason why we have judges. Because we wouldn't have judges if we just say that is a felony. Boom, you're done. You get this amount for whatever.
So this is going to be based on the commissioner of the sport at the time, and there are people that are talking like this Oregon State pitcher should go into the pros, and they're even suggesting they'd probably be a good fit in Kansas City. Small market, and they believe the manager that is there would be good at rehabilitating him and working with this kid.
Just hide him away.
That's what it seems like, because he wouldn't be in the spotlight like in New York City or in L.A. Send him to Kansas City.
Oh, that's not a good idea. Don't put him in California, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time for this.
Based on this kid gets into pro baseball, and we'll start playing in Kansas City until maybe we can whitewash the sins that he committed when he was 15, and then who knows where he'll wind up.
Keep him the hell out of the Bible Belt, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I don't know. Be interesting to see exactly how this goes, the standards of sport. You can always sound off if you got something to say about it. Go onto our Twitter. Find us at Kevin's Other Show. We're also on YouTube. You got the podcast as well. Search for it by name. Goodbye.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.